myself I'd get at least one episode done and posted by the end of the year, and I'm running out of time. So Episode 1, this is Shadows and Light. My name's Andrew. I invite you to join me on a journey. I don't claim to have the answers. I don't claim to have rock-solid theology. The only qualifications I think I'd really have for this is 2 years of Bible school, that 40-plus years of feeling like I just don't quite understand everything. This idea was spawned partly due to a video project I was a part of, and I'll put a description for that, or a link in the description. But I think part of it is also just this repeated theme I've been noticing, not just in my own life, but in the lives of others as well. And I'm talking about contrast, blacks and whites, light and darkness, faith, doubts. And in my mind, you can't really understand one without the other. You can't describe darkness without referring to light. You can't understand faith without facing doubts. And it's interesting that without the absolute extremes, absolute white or absolute darkness, absolute faith or complete doubt, if you don't understand one, you can't really understand the other. It's like we almost need both to understand. And I guess lately I've been observing life, and I mean physical surroundings, but also my internal world, mental illness, emotional, spiritual experiences, and I've been observing it more and more in terms of contrast. Now imagine a black and white photo. If there's a lot of distinctly dark areas and distinctly bright areas, it's said to have a lot of contrast. Or if it's more muted image, there's more areas of gray and less of the extreme white or pure dark. And it's interesting, the juxtaposition between the two, when we view them as humans, it's one of those things that's a little unnerving, a little uncomfortable, but yet captivating at the same time. And I mean this both from something we observe visually, but also more from a moral standpoint. It seems we as humans prefer things less in absolutes, absolute right and absolute wrong, and we prefer to moralize the exceptions, the gray areas that life seems to occupy so much of the time. So this theme is something I've been observing for a few months already. Is fascinating because it seems to keep coming up. And on top of that, it's something I've been observing not just in myself, but in others. And that itself is fascinating to me because I wouldn't say I'm always the most astute observer, both for myself or for others. So then in conversations I've been noticing, or I should say in conversations with others, it seems other people are noticing the same thing, this repeated pattern of contrast. And then on top of that yet, people have observed that within me. They're noticing that I've noticed this. So it's fascinating that all these things have kind of come together. And it's that tension that has become interesting for me. This tension between light and darkness, between faith and doubt, and this tension of wanting to and striving to understand myself and my thought patterns and my beliefs on the one hand, and completely ignoring it, and avoiding that discomfort of self-exploration and self-knowledge. And it's that tension again, that tension and that juxtaposition that I find interesting, that's been coming up so often. There's a line from a movie I love. It's called The Matrix. And in it, one character says to another, I'm trying to free your mind. I can only show you the door. You're the one who has to walk through it. It seems like I'm being shown this door often enough, more and more, and it kind of more insistently, if that makes sense. And the fact that I keep trying to logic or reason myself out of actually doing this and putting something out makes me think I actually need to just get it done and do it. The biggest thing is the journey of self-discovery, self-exploration, self-knowledge, trying to understand what I believe and why I believe that way. And if there's stuff that I need to correct in those beliefs, that of course will be part of it. This isn't to reinforce anything, but just to explore it, I guess. So that being said, this is a journey I'm starting out on. I'm not going to say it's always going to be flashy or fun. The point is, much like my blog, where I discovered I had a way of communicating that connected with people. And my thinking is, if I've got these struggles, these doubts, these fears of not understanding myself and not really wanting to deal with it, if I'm dealing with these thought patterns, I'm not the only one. There's more out there. My name is Andrew. Welcome to my series, Shadows and Light.